Anyways, we're back. We're back.
Yas, Queen. Yas.
Yeah, yeah, we are back.
We are back from probably the most successful week of doing this podcast
Podcasting.
that we have had.
I mean, I'm talking millions of dollars.
Millions.
And I'm talking if you split $1 up in a million ways.
Yes.
That is specifically what we mean. So yeah, millions. Just
Crazy
not
enough.
dollars themselves.
Yeah. Did you know? I don't know if you knew this, but you can't take a dollar bill, cut it into a million pieces, and actually have $1 million. It doesn't work that way. That was shocking to me.
That is, from what I hear, theoretical research.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like quantum physics, a lot of that is theoretical and I buy into it, but it's still just a theory. So, take that to the we're dealing in facts over here.
Take that to the bank.
Yeah, and cash it.
See what happens. Yes. And it's non-transferable to a check either. It doesn't
This
work that way.
millionth of a dollar identifies as a full dollar. And if you deny it that, you're a
That's
racist
true.
bigot.
Repulsive. How dare you shoot that down?
But I just have to get out of the way. I was pretty upset with Chase getting onto this podcast. Very uncommunicative in terms of the starting time.
But preface what you were saying. I'm normally 99.99999%.
No, you're normally at your house and you normally text me like an hour before and you're like, is 7:30 good tonight? I'll send you like the picture from the last 12, 13 podcasts where it's always like, hey, can we do it at 7:30? Are you good to start? And it's like, this is the first night that you've ever just been radio silence. And now I was like, oh, maybe something happened. You scared me. I was worried about you.
You could have texted me.
Yeah, Chase, but you are your parents. You text me when you leave your parents. I'm not the one who is waiting on you.
No, you text me, be like, are we good
not
for
only that, I
7:30?
already called you. I already reached out to you. So don't sit here and try to throw it on me. I had reached out to you. You said, I'll call you back in a wait. Did you ever call back? Because you said, I'll call you back in a bit. I'm with my parents. Guess what? Never received a call nor a text. Get out of here.
But you could have texted being like, we good for 7:30, 7:45? Well, this is a funny argument that we've had for years and years now, where I'm always the one to call Keegan in the morning time. And like the one day that I don't do it during the week, he's like, you never call. What is up, man? What is your problem? I'm like, you got a phone too. You can call me. He's like, it's not how that works.
Okay, hold on.
It's just not how that works.
If we're gonna go this far, if we're gonna go this far this quick, let's establish the grounds. So if you wake up every morning and you feed your dog, and I'm not comparing myself to a dog, let's just compare it to the logical thought pattern. If you train something or someone to expect something, then it is to be expected that when that thing doesn't happen, they question what's going on. Because listen, I 100% admit I could call more. And I 100% admit that I have become dependent in terms of he reaches out to me. And I'm just like, I feel special.
I don't know how to send outgoing calls.
Where's the button? But in terms of that, it's crazy to think that someone else wouldn't think it was crazy to be like, hey, we literally sound good. But we talk usually every morning, then I don't hear from him for like 4 days. I'm just like, hey,
4 days. That's pretty extreme.
Did I do something? Are you upset with me? If I was a worm, would you still love me?
Wow. All the logical questions, that one would ask.
Yeah. Anyways, we're just best friends. We are not in a homosexual relationship.
We're not fighting, guys. It's okay. The podcast.
I literally feel like we're dating sometimes because like I talk to you so much. Like today when I called you, you didn't answer. I was like, I'm
What's
sorry.
going on, huh?
I did not mean to. That was not cool. Not on the potty. Not on the potty. No potty on the potty.
No potty on the potty. That would make a great T-shirt. Thoughtify. No potty on the potty with our Thoughtify logo.
That's actually
that's
first.
That's pretty.
If those 25 followers we have right now, guess who's getting a free one? No one. We're gonna sell it to everyone
because we need the money. Yeah, they're going to be probably the most expensive.
Can't afford to buy it and not sell it. So, in the future, you will get some type of benefit though. No, we'll throw you a free one because we're rich.
If you throw in a $20 donation on top of buying a $75 t-shirt, you can have one.
And that's facts on facts.
Yes. I'll post a poll at the end of this episode.
You post a lot of polls.
Would you guys totally buy no potty on the potty Thoughtify
Hey, we're
t-shirt?
actually getting some good interaction. This is usually
We are.
anyone that comments is like one of our close friends. It's like doing it for a favor. We're actually getting other people commenting, which is just, anyone who's there with us for any of these steps of the journey, which whatever the journey looks like, I'm not saying it's going to turn into anything, crazy,
It
but
will.
we're going to get famous. We're going to be really rich and we will forget everyone. We'll be
Yep.
like, what was your name? Sorry. What street do you live on? I've never even been to that side of town.
What do you mean we've known each other for 15 years?
Yeah, seems like a lot. I feel like I would have remembered you, at least your face.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I doubt that. Well, I mean, consistency is key, so we'll see what happens, but that's not the goal at the end of the day. Really do enjoy this. This has become something that like every week I really look forward to.
Absolutely. It's
That was such a
it's
lie.
good establishing consistency. Like
Yeah.
as you're talking about consistency, like having something that not only is fun for us, but it's also like as we're recording, like I mean, we have a blast recording, but then
Yeah.
actually going back in to listen to the episodes,
Sometimes you're go on, sorry.
historically, anytime you're recorded or you're in a video or whatever it is, like you tend to cringe at yourself. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys have this issue, or I know you and I do, at least going back, because it's
Well,
like we're the most self-critical people ever to
I do want
ourselves.
to say something real quick. In terms of when you hear your own voice, it's no matter who you are like,
Yeah.
that's what I sound like. You just can't help but cringe at your
Sounds
own
so
voice.
stupid.
It's so
Yeah.
weird to hear your own voice, but go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But going back to listen or to watch anything that, you might have been in, historically, I'd be like, nope, not watching that. It's probably, I'll look ridiculous. I sound weird. I blah, 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 blah. But this is one of the first things that I've actually looked forward to listening to our episodes when they release. And I'm not self critical. Like, I should have done that better. I could have, said that better. Or I could have thought that through, or I don't sound weird, or whatever it is. It's like just all around, I thoroughly enjoy going back to listen to it, despite us having a first row seat to actually seeing it live.
Well, it's crazy. So like it's kind of like teaching a sport versus being really good at a sport. They say like if you're a black belt in jujitsu and then you start teaching jujitsu, you learn it from a different aspect. Like
Hmm.
teaching something is, it just helps you learn it more. And like when we look at ourselves doing the podcast, not that we're teaching anything, we're just looking at it from a different perspective that is very relevant in terms of how anyone would observe it. So yeah, it's once you get over that hill of, oh, I hate hearing my own voice. Oh, that sounded kind of stupid. And you just start listening to yourself as if it was someone else. You're like, hey,
It's
sometimes I'm
not that bad.
kind of funny and I look pretty cool. Like,
Wow. Start
wow,
patting yourself on the back.
geez, give a
Wow.
double.
Wow.
Hey, Pat. I'm kidding.
Wow.
I don't think, but I mean, just it is fun to see yourself and actually see yourself just kind of enjoying something. And you're like, oh, it's just a different way to kind of enjoy what you're already enjoying. And, we
For
listen to
sure.
every episode 13 times a piece.
Yeah, which explains all the views that we've been getting.
Yeah.
I know I told you, we have 25 followers. I'm 23 of those.
What if that was true? What
I
if
have
we had
23 different Spotify accounts.
all different emails? You have the police
It's
showing
true.
up to your door like, listen, we don't usually prosecute people for having multiple email addresses, but for you, you've really just overdone yourself.
We're kind of concerned.
Or outdone yourself, I guess would have been the proper term, not overdone. That would be cooking or baking.
It's true. It that kind of reminds me, I was scrolling through Instagram and came across, for those of you that don't know, I love watches, like wrist watches, and
And
my
ankle
Instagram,
watches. He likes ankle watches.
yes, ankle watch, toe watches are even better.
Right.
Fun fact, those are about
Just
to hit market
wristwatches.
big. They're really popular in Scandinavia. They're making their entry into the US market though. Keep an eye out.
Be a
Casual
chance.
plug for toe watches. But it was this one of clip from Zoolander
Yeah.
where Derek Zoolander and Hans are like kind of passing each other and they're mortal enemies at this point. And he
I know
kind
what
of
you're talking about. He's like looking
yeah, he
at
does
him.
like the stare or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And kind of like the Zoolander look.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was overlaid with a caption of me going to the FBI to pick up my free watch. Turns out I'm on the watch list. I thought that was really funny.
You know, the funniest part is that I was getting that as I started laughing. I was like,
I saw that.
oh, oh, I just didn't.
it
I just, hey, we all get there somehow. I got there probably quicker than anyone else would. So shut up.
it was one of those if we could go back and slow-mo that, it was like your reaction was happening and then the aha moment happened
Shut up.
later on as
I
it
don't
got
even want to
more
hear about
more
it,
pronounced.
even though I brought it up right after it happened.
Yeah,
That is, there it is. That's that.
that's that.
That's
But
that.
besides that, how's the week been?
Man, how has the week been? It's getting close to Thanksgiving, so the year in terms of work wise has been going really good. That's awesome. So that adds to not having a bunch of stress, but work in general is extremely stressful. Dating is always fun. It's just a good time.
It's probably the easiest thing in the entire world,
I love
honestly.
inconsistency. That's my thing. Like,
Yeah.
if I could just go on multiple dates with a lot of people and all of them not work out, that would be like, and I'm doing it. I'm living the dream, you
Hey
know,
man,
out there.
good for you.
I'm out there paving my own way. But no, so I mean, but yeah, everything this week has been pretty good, I'd say. Nothing bad. So I mean, we're keeping the head on a swivel. Tell me about yourself, sir. How's your week been?
It has been decent. Nothing crazy as well. Just kind of one of those weeks that it feels like it's leading up to the holidays, which I know it is, but it just feels like it's one of those natural progressional time periods where things are just slowing down in general. And it's just it has that feeling. Time starts to kind of not slow down, but you're like, I don't know. It feels like it's been a long week, but not a fast week.
Yeah,
It's like today. Oh, it's
true.
Wednesday, but like it's only Wednesday, like what we were talking about earlier. It's
For
I
some
guess
reason, it feels like it should be the weekend.
it really does. It really, really does. What I'm pumped though for this weekend, Gladiator 2 comes out on Friday. That's gonna be super cool. Super anxious to check that out. And then we're going to watch the Harvard of the South football team
You want to
play.
put $10 down that Russell Crowe does make a cameo.
Are we talking a CGI cameo or are we talking like actually him?
Probably a mixture of both.
If it's CGI, I could believe that more, but no way modern day Russell Crowe.
He is
He's too big.
baddest.
He's
He's a big
huge.
boy. He says, if I get lost in the ocean, I need to float.
Turns out in an alternate timeline, I became the emperor.
And that food was good. But yeah, man, I mean, and I didn't even watch just because of, I mean, first off, I'm not a fan of all the Disney continuation of like Thor, Love and Thunder and like all these different movies of the same thing. It's just like, come on, make two
Something new.
good movies and then go on to something different. But like Thor, Love and Thunder,
Yeah.
where Russell Crowe was Zeus, and he was
Yep.
just fat, dude. Like it just wasn't like it just didn't. And I guess like that could be a representation of a god that's just gotten lazy or something like that, and that you know
Level of
universe.
abundance and thriving
Yeah,
and yeah.
but it just I
But
don't know.
still,
Those scenes right there, I was just like that made me not want to watch the movie.
yeah.
Did you ever watch it?
I did. It wasn't great. I mean, it was
Yeah.
honestly, it was more, it felt like more of a comedy,
Yeah. And that's the
which,
thing. Yeah, they try
Marvel's,
to make it so just like of a joke every other sentence,
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, so what is the plot again?
right. Yeah, and it's I don't know. I appreciate the humor that Marvel has thrown in their movies, especially early on, back when the Marvel movies were actually good. All this
Yeah.
new modern stuff is absolutely horrible, for a lot of different reasons. And I remember seeing the Avengers movie, the first one that came out back in 2012. Like, that was a phenomenal movie. It was just pure entertainment, no agendas, no nothing,
Yeah,
and
right.
perfectly timed comedy, but the entire thing wasn't a comedy. Like, it was just overall really, really well done.
Yeah.
And now it's just become a, I don't know, a spectacle or a mock of what movies used to be.
You know what? I can't I can get over it, but it's just something that sticks with me. Because it's like I don't really, if you want to make a movie about wokeness and create a storyline, cartoon, Disney movie, whatever you want, and incorporate in that storyline, that is your right. But to go back and to change storylines because you want it to incorporate something that it doesn't, or not even not incorporate, it just doesn't talk about it. Like what they've done to the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Like I listen, the Wizard of Oz is not going to change my life. It's not going to, it's not going to ruin my day, but it's just so like the idea that someone's going back to a solidified story that was written by someone else, that like is a story that was before it was a movie,
Yeah.
and you're going to change that and like write like an alternate version, like
Yeah.
it's just
It's
dishonest.
laziness,
If
and
the
it's
person who
laziness
was
too.
like who wrote it was alive, do you think they'd be like, yeah, that's so awesome?
Well, that's the way I view Rings of Power. You know,
Yeah,
granted, they hinted Tolkien hinted at the story after Return of the King and kind of the appendices
yeah,
um that give a little bit more in-depth information as to the rest of Middle Earth, like in the Second Age and things like that. Like, so you get a hint of that time period, but Amazon has taken that and just run with it and interpreted it in their own complete way and explains why it sucks. I
yeah,
don't know.
man. It's the idea that you have any ability to interpret like a book. It's like what? The the words are literally on the page.
Yeah.
No interpretation needed. Now, in terms of if you want to interpret a battle scene differently than someone else would interpret that battle scene, not in terms of changing characters and plot lines and specific instances, but if you just want to like imagine it differently, that's where creative ability comes in and stuff like that, I believe, is to
Yep.
imagine it in your own way, not add to it and change it.
Yep. I agree. And it's become such a tunnel visioned approach of recycled material. Like I mean, just in general, like great movies have existed and they're either all sequels today or just recreations of movies that have already come out. Like
Yeah,
where
man.
the actual new, authentic, original, fun, entertaining movies. And George Lucas actually put it very, very well that it's become, and it's, not a shock that it's
Yeah.
become this, but it's become just a business. Like directors and writers aren't creating things for the sake of like passion. I'm not generalizing everybody. It just seems like it's most of the individuals today that are doing this that they're just here to make money. It doesn't matter what it is. If they can do a reskin of Jurassic Park, if they can do a reskin of How to Train Your Dragon live action, which evidently is going to be a thing next year, it's
We
verbatim, scene for scene of the animated movie, just live action with nothing else changed. But they're going to do that full knowing that they're probably going to make $1 billion off of it because people are going to go see it. And it's just like there's no
Yeah,
emphasis
I get that.
behind it to actually do something original and fun and new because it's just like, we'll just, wrap this gift up. Same exact one that was gifted before, but we're just going to put a different bow on it and people are still going to go see it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's definitely I couldn't tell you some original plot lines that have come out. in the recent past, and I'm sure there's some that I'm just not, but I will give credit in the area of, and this is the only area I'll give credit. This is not even necessarily giving credit. This is just recognizing that this is a thing. The fact that movies, in terms of going to the movie theater, has changed a lot. It is now,
Agreed.
it is very, very hard for movies to make the money like they did at box office because so many things are pushed to streaming. So they've had to like claw and fight for that back to get that like any type of advantage to go into the movies. Back in and there's always going to be the experience, but you know how like we went and saw Deadpool, they'll only open it in movies for so long or in
Yep.
movie theaters. So that is different. But outside of that, like all that is saying like, hey, this territory, like if you're a sales rep, is developed. There's no companies in this territory that are going to be benefit. They're not in your target market. You've gotten all of them. You now have to go develop another territory. And they're just trying to take the exact, well, I mean, they're not even, they're just going like, hey, I'm just going to take, like you said, exactly what this is and just put some different colors on it. And you're going to, yeah, that only lasts so long,
Yeah.
and they're already hemorrhaging money and have been for a long time, especially with all the wokeness. So I'd say in the next 5, 6 years, I'm very interested to see. Well, I mean, they'll always be afloat because they're Disney, and they'll have their claws deep and something that will give them money. But yeah, like you sent me the video of the How to Train My Dragon. It's
Yep.
like the cool thing about real life movies is they make stuff look real life. You can't just add texture to something and be like, hey, guess what? It's real life. I would have liked them to like make it look more like kind of like a fierce dragon and a real person taming that dragon versus like you said, like a verbatim script and image of the actual animated movie.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I get it in a sense of them not making the dragon like look more scary or aggressive because they're appealing to kids, not our
But not even,
generation.
you don't have to make it look crazy, scary, or aggressive. Just like add some like actual scales and like kind of like make it look as if like the guy has a reason walking up to it to be scared, not
Right.
like a softened cartoon.
Right.
Like it's like you can't, if that's the case, then we should make Saving Private Ryan into a cartoon and it should be just as good, right?
Totally.
Yeah. Like no, like it wouldn't be because it's just not the right medium for that, or not the right medium, not the right presentation for that type of medium. So but that's my opinion. I'm sure there's plenty of people that love it. And you know what? If you do, that's I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even seen the movie.
I mean, I don't even know how many there are now. I think I've seen the first one in full. It was decent. It was an animated movie, you know. I'm a little bit past my prime for having a want and desire to actually go watch those movies, but entertaining, cool concept. It was something new. I'll give them that when it first came out, but then they mooched off of the first one and made like 17 additional How to Train Your Dragons. So I don't know.
Did they make 17 of them?
Not 17, but they made a lot.
Just for clarity, that's not trash, that's close.
Let
I
me
was just
see.
you want to see
How
close? What am
many
I show you?
Train Your Dragons
There's
are there?
there's probably three.
Let's see. Four. Oh, I
Here,
guess there's been three, soon to be four,
we'll move that hanger.
with the recreation. But yeah, that's our opinions on the movie industry. We're pursuing a opportunity in
Degree in
being movie
movies.
critics. We're starting a rival site called Not
Right,
Rotten
site
Tomatoes.
movies.
Not Rotten
Right,
Tomatoes, where
right tomatoes.
yes, and it's going to be better
Bro.
and less biased.
We can't be the only ones with that idea. There has to have been someone that was like, huh, Rotten Tomatoes without ripe tomatoes.
Let's find out.
I was about to say, share your screen.
Let's see. Share
Tell me what you know
screen.
about the
Rolling
back
down in the
into
deep.
it. The space, the rocket launch in the recent past.
Hold on, we got to do this first. Is there an equivalent to rotten blah, blah, blah,
That's what typing
tomatoes?
skills. All right.
I guess we'll just start with that.
Yeah.
Metacritic, but that's stupid.
Just say, is there a ripe tomatoes? And if there's not, we're making it right now. Yeah, see right there.
Yeah, it's an actual ripe tomato farm. The ripe tomato. I'm not just seeing ripe tomato straight up.
Bro.
Let me go to GoDaddy. GoDaddy, let's see if
Type
the
in ripe
domain.
tomatoes. Dude, no way. No way.
Ripetomatoes.com.
No.
Wow. No one's claimed it, but it's also $4,700 to buy.
Dude, we should get it.
Okay. I have a
Hold on, let
question.
me tell you something real quick.
Yep.
This is crazy. This is real, and that's what that person did. So people,
Buy domains and sell them.
this happened to my buddy Mike's software company. People will go to like the HR. He won the top HR startup at South by Southwest, and people will go to competitions like that, and they'll look at these startups and they'll say, "I'm gonna guess 20 names for each startup. We're going to buy each one if it's available. And that way, as soon as these people get funding, they're going to pay us $20,000 for this name because they're going to want it." And dude, it is just like it's an industry. People do this. They look at other companies and they're like, what could that company be called when they want to get incorporated or like want to like have the rights to their name, buy all the names and then sell them back for like $50,000.
I kind of looked into that. Um, kind of like an auction website, but it's strictly for domains. So like you buy and sell domain names, and
Well, with AI now, with AI, that's like I honestly wouldn't even consider getting into it now because it's just like
yeah,
you could just type the description of a company and can say, give me every possible name. And
yeah,
if they're available, pay like, $5 for each of them.
it'd be interesting.
It's kind of like one of those things that you'd have to it would not be easy to just get into, just like anything is, like you'd have to actually probably try to grind and spend a good bit of money to make a good bit of money.
Like starting this podcast,
Yeah, I mean, we spent like a whole we didn't spend any money.
$400,000,
Million.
400,000 million. But yeah,
Trillion.
that'd be interesting. We could spend $4,700 to get ripetomatoes.com.
Dude, I don't even know why we said this on this podcast. Someone's gonna go buy it now.
You
Just to
better
let you know,
not.
we've
We'll
already
sue
bought
you.
this. We've
We
already
bought
bought
it.
it. We bought it.
Yep.
Just went through.
On Keegan's credit card.
That is actually a perfect place to put it. Getting a lot of points for that.
There you go.
Here we are.
Gosh, yeah, that's really interesting. But yeah, no, the SpaceX rocket launch.
I didn't even get to watch it, so tell me about it.
So yesterday, Starship was launched for the sixth time into orbit. They had four different checklist items or basically mission points that they were trying to put to the test. And what
One
this
of them, the
ultimate,
docking.
huh?
Was one of them like the gas exchange or the docking?
No, they didn't send two Starships up. It
Okay.
was just one. Although I'm going to be anxious to see that one.
That's gonna be crazy.
That will be wild. But I mean, out of those 4 points, the general premise as to what it boiled down to was how will Starship respond to
Yeah.
extreme external forces, pulling G's, like very harsh maneuvers, all that stuff. So I think out of the four checkpoints, there was the booster catch, Even though we did that already, they're going to do it again under a more aggressive um, perspective.
Yeah.
And Starship, as it was in orbit, they were going to turn the main boosters off, basically cut all engine or all the engines on the spaceship. They're going to turn them off and then reignite them in space. And then as it was coming back down to Earth, they were going to tilt the nose of space or of Starship towards the ocean. So to make it basically come in pretty quick, because when they executed the landing maneuver, you know how that thing, the boosters kick on and it flips the rocket vertical
Yeah.
to go in for the landing. They wanted to test it to put more stress on the actual paneling and the structure itself. That, okay, if it's angled more down and then we decide to fire up these boosters or the engines to flip Starship vertical and then
Yeah.
slow down to come to a landing, will it be able to take it? And then also, I think one of the last points, as it's in orbit, this was an older generation Starship in a sense that the heat shields that were on it were an older generation. So
Yeah.
out of curiosity's sake, they were seeing, how well could it theoretically hold up using older heat shields under more pressure and more heat.
Yeah.
Um, so launched, everything was good. The booster came back down. They were going to go for the catch again, but out of all the checklist items that would basically give them the green light to catch the booster, one was off. So that just to be uber safe, they decided to not do the booster catch. So instead, it came and landed off the coast of Boca Chica.
But
Um,
wait, so it did not like did it just land on the
it
ground?
landed in the ocean. Yeah,
Okay, but it's in the bottom,
intentionally.
it's in the bottom of the ocean.
They recovered it. They
Do they
went and
cover them?
yeah, they went and recovered the booster.
Um, yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense since they are reusable. That would kind
Yeah,
of defeat the purpose if they did not recover, right? But
yeah.
that's a lot of stuff, man. That's really cool.
But the cool thing was, so yeah, the booster came back down. If it would have been a concrete pad in the middle of the ocean,
Yeah,
the booster would have been completely good. So
yeah,
it's not like that was a failure by any means. It was perfect. The
indeed.
Starship, which is insane, it was, I think the top speed as it was in orbit got up to a little over 22,000 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
So by the time it launched and was in orbit, and as it was coming back in for re-entry, Starship went and landed in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It took
Yeah,
an hour. Think about that.
that's crazy.
That's going a little bit faster than 70
And
miles per
here's
hour.
here's the here's the thing that a lot of people aren't expecting probably that Elon Musk is definitely going to do. And I'm sure maybe they are expecting it, but like in terms of his initiative being getting to Mars, he is definitely going to create continental space travel to go
Oh
from
yeah,
here to Italy or China in 30 minutes.
China.
China. We're gonna fly over China. We're gonna drop some bombs. But
Keep
yeah,
talking.
it's oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna I'm gonna try to find the video to share the screen so people can see this.
Whatever, man. I guess I'll just make stuff up.
Talk like you know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about. It's a bunch. I talk about a lot.
What
I'm
do
only
you
saying what
know?
I know that I'm talking about. But man, I just in terms of the rocket, like the fact that all the heat shields held up and the fact that the rocket in and of itself only had to go in the water because it had to, it's getting very consistent. It's
Very consistent, which is the coolest part. They were saying by, I want to say Starship Launch 8, they are going to test the catch maneuver with the actual Starship,
yeah,
which is going to be super insane to see. And a byproduct of all this success that they're having, I don't know if you saw today, the FAA came out and confirmed that with all the credibility SpaceX is gathering, instead of having 5 launches of Starship per year, their allotted amount to launch per year was up to 25 launches a year, 5 times the amount. So just imagine if we've made this much progress with allotted, 5 launches a year, what are we going to be able to do with 25?
I mean, man, that's not even going to be a big number once it becomes normal. It's going to be,
Oh, yeah.
just think of like, I will say that at one point, everyone's going to end up getting this technology because one of the things that Elon Musk does really well is that he actually shares the blueprints of his technology with other people in the market. So, for instance, the Tesla vehicle, he shared his blueprints and how to make those with other companies. It's just the fact that he's already has the production down so much, he can buy batteries at such a cheaper rate and buy the products at such a cheaper rate and has a supply line set up that it doesn't matter if he gives it away. It adds to a free market economy. And once other countries get the ability to build these rockets, there is going to be someone who tries to do something dumb with it, unfortunately.
Oh, for sure. And I'd be curious, like just like the F-35, it's proprietary hardware and software, but we do sell it to other, members of NATO, our NATO countries, our allies, but they don't get the full locked and loaded version like we
Yeah.
do.
And not only that, from what I've heard, you can also, or we have the ability to essentially detonate those. I wouldn't say detonate them, but disable them at
Yeah.
any point. And I'm sure other countries can reverse engineer it to the point they can take things like that off. But I know we're not stupid enough to
Yeah.
just put our top fifth generation or fourth generation fighter in someone else's hands with every bit of capability that it has. We're gonna, like you said, give them the dumbed down version of, hey, it flies, but it has no wheels to land. So you guys do with that what you will.
It's a one-time use.
Yeah.
But yeah, for all those that are watching, check this out. For all those that aren't watching, I would highly recommend
I
turning
don't see
on.
anything.
Are you kidding me?
It
Can you
says
see it now?
chases. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Now, hold on. It's
Can you
coming up.
see it?
It's probably just my internet. So I mean, um, if
Can you
it's
see
on
it?
your side, if it's sharing, then it's probably there.
Are you not able to see it though?
I can see the top left corner, but go ahead.
Well, I want to make sure that this is showing the full thing because allow to share screen, share entire screen. All right, how's this?
It's hold on.
Not coming through?
I mean, it's just the top left of it.
You might have to change your actual view,
No,
but
it's not that. It's like my screen is not fully loading, is what I'm saying. I can see your screen, but it's like the rest of my screen is wanting to only show that bit of it, which is not your fault.
interesting. Well, for all those that are watching or are not watching, open it up so you can see it. But here's a starship coming down. It's approximately 3 kilometers, 2 kilometers above the surface of the water, going 350 kilometers an hour.
How
Right
much is
now,
that in miles per hour?
huh?
How much is that in miles per hour?
I don't know. You have to do the calculation or just ask ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Um, but right now, Starship is falling literally parallel. I mean, a perpendicular to the water. So it's falling like someone would out if you're skydiving, falling, face down towards the earth. That's the way Starship's going. And then all of a sudden, you can see it fully rotate, boosters ignite, and that sucker is perfectly landing. Look at that.
Yeah, that is. I
That is
mean,
just one of the
I
coolest
can
sights.
see I see it landing. I mean, I see the I see bits of it, but I don't get to see the whole thing. But I saw the gist of it, which is,
Yeah.
what's crazy about out there in the ocean?
What's that?
I think we might have said this before, but you could be out there in the ocean and literally nothing. You won't see an animal. You might you might see some small fish or something like that. But out in the middle of the ocean,
Yeah.
there's nothing
Which
because,
is really eerie to think about too.
yeah. And that in terms of like things being under our ocean, which has been talked about in Congress multiple times now, has been referenced multiple times, has been stated as something that's a high possibility by multiple verifiable and dependable sources. Like just the idea that there's that much vastness, and that's the smallest little bit of space compared to what the universe actually is in terms of like what we consider vastness. Like we can't even comprehend the actual number a billion, you
Yeah.
know. We can understand it. We can theoretically be like, oh, a billion compared to a million, that's a million millions.
That
It's just the vastness of the ocean out there in the middle. There's just nothing there, and it's mind blowing.
really is. I was trying to go back as you brought up the UAP stuff. The
No, I didn't. I was
House committee
mad.
hearing that happened last week.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I know I was going to look up like what were the main bullet point takeaways. Um,
I watched like
wow.
30 minutes of it, but go ahead.
There was so one of the guys that testified, Lou Elizondo, and I quote, "We are not alone in the cosmos."
Yep.
That's pretty crazy. He came out and said too, um, generally summarizing that we are absolutely in um we have control and we have complete, what is the word I'm looking for? We have in our possession non-human origin spacecraft.
Well, no, that's not what he
Along
said.
with by yeah, he did.
Did he? I mean, I watched a good bit of it. I feel like what he said was that we believe that it is a high possibility that it could be non-human intelligence that's either created or I didn't hear it. Maybe you heard something I didn't. You probably did. So what did he say in terms of like the what you're saying?
Holy cow, he's also real quick, ex-Pentagon officials claim US has recovered non-human specimens as well.
Yeah, that's David Grush said that, and he said he's talked to people who have said that, but there hasn't been.
Let me pull it
That's
up on my phone. For some reason, it's not letting me pull it up on my computer.
my computer.
But I'm pretty sure did I sent it to you and my dad.
But I'm just saying, like that was said in the last hearing in terms of the fact that we believe we have stuff of non-human origin or biologics of non-human origin. And they re-talked about that in this hearing and confirmed it again. But in terms of them directly saying, I know, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
The hold on, we've sent each other so much stuff. Um
That's a
Lou
rabbit hole.
Elizondo testifies that we have communicated with UFO related non-human life forms, quote unquote, definitively, yes. Um, and then as they're talking about, is it multiple types of creatures? Different things like that. Did I text just you? Hold
Probably.
on. Oh, there's Warhammer, the Warhammer store. That's kind of cool.
There's a place called Warhammer Citadel here in Dallas and Grapevine, and it's a place where people go and actually play the board game Warhammer, but they also have real life statues, and we're gonna go. It's gonna be fun. You guys should meet us there as a meet and greet
We'll do our first
and
meetup.
a fan meet and greet.
New first fan meetup.
FFMU.
Oh, Bob Lazar on UAP congressional hearings. I told you so. Dang.
Whee! Got him.
This is wild, man.
The
Um,
crazy thing is no one cares. No one cares, dude.
unfortunately, they need to.
Well, when they actually get here, or not even get here, when they actually present themselves as a real thing, people will care.
And this was the biggest thing. Startling claims made at UFO hearing in Congress, but lack direct evidence. I'm like, at some point, they can only do so much talking before they actually show something.
Yeah. I
I
mean, yeah,
mean,
like
there's,
that's the thing that they can always throw at it. Lacks direct evidence.
yeah,
That's just say, oh, that's annoying. Because no, there is direct evidence. It's just not given.
yeah.
If there is theoretically, if this is like confirmed that there are people that have come into contact with or had been on these cases where we have actual biological samples or whatever it may be, then that indicates that there is direct evidence. It's just not being given to us.
Here, hold on, here we go. So, a standout moment on Wednesday came when Nancy Mace, the chair of the hearing, questioned Luis Elizondo, a former Department of Defense official who this year claimed in a memoir that the U.S. was, quote, in possession of advanced technology made off-world by non-human intelligence. Quote, has the government, unquote, and then requote, has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs? Yes or no? Mace asked. Elizondo, who was speaking under oath, said yes. Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft? Yes or no? Elizondo, yes. Um, let's see. Yeah. So general gist is per Elizondo in a memoir, we are in possession of technology, advanced technology that was made off world by non-human intelligence.
Yeah.
And that was according to theguardian.com.
And this is just like people would still look at it and be like, no, no direct evidence. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh my gosh, man. Who was it that we were listening to? Was it on a Sean Ryan show episode? This must have been a while ago, or a Joe Rogan episode. But do you remember the one guy? I think he was in Nevada, just kind of an old boy, living in a trailer or something like that. Ended up getting video footage of one of the most incredible UFO sightings that has ever been recorded. And remember how he said Logan Paul went and purchased that footage?
No,
Do you not remember that? Oh my
no,
gosh. I'm about to look this up. Logan Paul UFO footage.
no, really? I feel like
I swore
Logan,
that was a thing.
man, you might have been abducted by aliens if that's not a thing. If that's not a thing, you totally got abducted and they put that in your head. But I think
YouTuber Logan Paul confirms rumor he has UFO video, according to the New York Post.
I didn't think that you'd made it up, but if you would have, that would have been like,
But it's just like, and again, here's my thing. I'm playing the advocate. Like, if you have supposedly some incredible footage, just release it, man. What are you doing? And what is the benefit of you just holding on to it and claiming this stuff? Credibility? You trying to look for views? You trying to get money? What are you trying to do by keeping it hidden? If it's supposedly breakthrough content, release it. Unless the government has a gun to his head and saying, don't do it.
I was gonna say that'd be the only thing in my mind that could keep that a thing. But to your point, it's just like if it's really there, then what's the
Yeah.
problem with
Show it. Yeah.
come on?
So YouTuber Logan Paul claims he has secret UFO video said to be most compelling ever. So Paul confirmed this person's claim that while he unsuccessfully tried to buy the footage from Nevada man Chuck Clark for 100,000 in cash, he used a hidden camera to record the TV. That's what it was. After asking to watch the video. Yeah, I offered him 100 grand for this tape after I had seen it. Let me tell you, he should have taken the money because I got the footage anyway. Whoa.
Did he release it?
No, he hasn't. Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so how does this tie back though to Sean Ryan? Was
No,
it
like that.
that
I
he
think that's how I
didn't go on
initially
Sean Ryan?
that's how I initially heard about it, I think.
Hmm.
Someone who did an interview or had spoken with this guy out in Nevada told him about this story or something like that. And
Okay.
that's how I'd heard about it. But I'm just, yeah, if there's all this crazy cool stuff that's out there, man, I mean, what is the actual benefit of keeping it hidden?
And that's the same thing that Joe Rogan says, is in terms of someone who has so much reach that can reach
Yeah.
literally across the world and get in contact with someone easily. And he doesn't have anything definitive he can show. That is definitely one of those things that you look at and you're just like, okay, that's an argument against it. It definitely is.
Yeah.
But maybe whoever is invested in keeping this a secret is actually that good. And honestly, there are nowadays there are videos that I look at and I'm like, that looks very that looks as real. But like in the back of your mind, you're just trained to be like, but it might not be real.
Yeah.
This
Speaking
looks like
of,
you could see something perfectly real and it just doesn't do
yeah,
anything.
I know we talked about it, I want to say on the very first episode that was unreleased or the first episode that was released.
What episode that was unreleased? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, just kidding.
Making stuff up.
That was nothing. But the UFO sketchy footage that I took when I was over at Brendan Grayson's house. You remember the
The
UFO
one that we
video?
argued with your dad about?
Yeah, the one that we talked to my dad about. But we initially talked when we were talking about this, I was talking about this encounter experience and I said I was going to upload it or post it and I never did. For all those viewing and who are very curious, here it is, the video that I recorded. I think it was
Time
late
out.
last year.
Preface. Time out.
So I was at my sister and brother-in-law's house getting ready to leave. We just finished a Cowboy game. It was on Sunday night. I was going out the back of their house. Beautiful, clear night. Cool night, getting ready to get in the truck. All of a sudden, we see a bright light in the sky, thinking it's a star. It's at dusk. And my brother-in-law, Grayson, he says jokingly, haha, it's probably a UFO. And I was like, oh, yeah, wouldn't that be something? As we continue to watch it, we were in absolute awe as to what happened because this was not a star by any means, and it was not a planet because planets can light up pretty bright in the sky, um, depending on how clear the night is and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
without further ado, for everyone, please actually watch this because it is interesting, and I'll play it, and then Keegan will talk about the little research and all that we did after the fact.
Light around it.
That's literally
Wow, look how
an
bright it's
orb.
getting.
What the heck is that? That's not a plane.
Look at the light within the light. Look at how it gets brighter.
The shape? It's like the center part is even lighter.
Do you see? What?
Okay.
What is that? Did you see
What?
it just like pulsed out?
What the fuck
What is that, dude?
What is it spraying?
What the freaking heck?
Do you see how it's like spraying stuff?
Dude.
It's like
That is weird.
in front of it. It's
If it disappears,
Oh! Wait, what? See if it goes to Alliance. Maybe it's some sort of. No, it's gone.
it's almost
Bro, it's
gone.
like gone.
What? I have never seen anything like
But
that
you
in my
can kind
entire
of still
life.
see it moving though.
Wait.
That is weird.
Dude, did you see the ring in front of it? It pushed out a
It's
ring.
It's
like
gone.
invisible. It's gone.
I sent it to Keegan. We talked about it a lot, and this is where the research started to kick off, and I'll let you take it.
Are we talking about the one that your dad thought it was the SpaceX rocket?
Yes.
Yeah, so long story short, if you watch the video, there is a moment where there's a ring that essentially explodes from a center point in the air. And that ring is exactly what it looks like when a rocket separates one of its boosters to the next one, or, separating that part of the rocket from whatever else is happening next. And it's a very, very easy to see, very distinguishable thing. And Chase's father said, hey, that was the same day that SpaceX launched a rocket from Cape Canaveral and did a test flight. And that was definitely what we saw. So, of course, Chase and I looked into this and we looked it up. Cape Canaveral goes from Florida up to towards, in terms of where the rocket was launching, towards New York. So it's going up the East Coast. That rocket from anywhere in Texas is not physically visible.
Yep.
No possible way to see it. So the fact that we saw, and then this was also, wasn't there multiple reports of people seeing this? It wasn't something that.
I think so that night. As I'm looking it up, they're reporting it was a Falcon launch, a Falcon 9 rocket carrying 23 satellites, launches from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida.
Yeah, but Cape
And
Canaveral.
it traveled up the eastern seaboard. So we wouldn't have been, to Keegan's point, we would not have been able to see it in Texas.
And it was, if the video showed where it wasn't showing for me, it is visible as heck. It is very visible. So in terms of just something to think about, hey, I'm not saying that was a UAP or UFO, but I am saying there was something there. It looked like a rocket launch. And if there was a rocket launching that people weren't supposed to know about, what the heck was going on?
Yeah. Legitimately, it was wild.
It was wild.
And if that video did not show, as I'm going into edit after the fact, I'll attempt to throw it in through post-production so you guys can see it. So I'm saying, like, if the screen share didn't work, and it didn't come through, then I'll add the video, hopefully, as I'm editing it after the fact.
Okay, yeah.
But it was
you were saying, like, I'm gonna edit the video. I was like, all right, well, that's takes our credibility.
Yep, I'm gonna tamper with it.
Right.
But we were sitting there talking. I was like, dude, should I send this in to Jeremy Corbell, who's a very, very prominent, probably one of the most well-known, if not the most well-known UFO investigator?
He's one of the guys who essentially set up most of these people coming to Congress and testifying.
Yeah. Man, I should just send it to him.
You should. At least figure out, like, hey, is there something we don't?
Yeah. Maybe I should be able to send it to him on X, right? You would think.
Or on Y or Z.
Whoa. Jeremy Corbell. Follow. I can DM him.
Heck yeah.
Oh, and I can attach a video.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Okay. I will be
yeah.
sending that to Jeremy right after this episode.
Nice.
I'll keep you guys posted too on if there's ever a response. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, keep me posted as well.
No, I'm good. You'll find out on the podcast.
Cool.
But yeah, overall, it's and that actually happened January of this year.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting experience. Very interesting.
It was a good time.
But all that to say, I don't know. If there's aliens out there and there's supposedly all this crazy good footage, where that though?
Where that though? Where that?
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's probably a good place to almost wrap up. Unless there's anything else you want to bring up.
No, I think that's a good place as well. Kind of sick of talking to you, but by next week I'll be ready to do it again. So
yep.
I'm kidding. We love each other too much. It's almost weird, but love all you guys as well, in not a weird way. And
or in a weird way. That's fine.
Whichever way you want.
Thoughtify
podcast about anything and everything. Come back next week.
No potty on the potty. I'm going to post that as a poll. Would you guys buy it if it was a t-shirt?
Peace out.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.